his main guns, and he's like, come on, load, load, load. So, alright, so, République, what do you know? You are top tier. You are a hacker, sir. And you're dived with Montana and Des Moines. Alright, gonna do my characteristic screenshots. You've got the permanent camo for the ship. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I always feel it's kind of a bit on the ugly side of things. Where do I want to go with this? I was about something like this. Guns. Lots of guns. Alright, that's be good about there. Boom. So you're running the premium camo, and you've got, again, credits, commander XP. I'm guessing you're trying to train up the commander that was in the Gascon and this ship too. Credit reduction does make sense at tier 10. More XP grinding. And I believe at tier 10 you get the 100% bonus to XP, so this permanent camo does go well with this. If you've got a Type 59 available, that would be very useful if you're going to run all these special economic flags. Also, note, when I do that, I also add protection. I run Juliet Charlie to make sure I don't go boom in a hurry. Yep, and again, damage control booster, or sorry, repair party booster would be useful here. Fire reduction would be useful here. Secondary booster would be useful here. Speed would be useful. Consumable reload would be useful. Any of those flags, I would take away the credit flags. If you're hurting for credits, keep the credit reduction one on, I suppose. But the other credit flags, I would use those with camos that boost credits. I know this one. Well, does it boost? Does it get? I know it does. It gets rid of. It reduces the credit cost for playing. That's one of the benefits of the tier 10 permanent camos. So, République, it's basically Gascon 2.0, but it's got a bigger secondary array. The turrets, I think, might be faster. I can't remember. The turrets, of course, are larger caliber, so you can lull pen things like the Hindenburg, or I believe the Des Moines. So Bawan cruisers like that died easily. This was a disaster of a match. Well, I'm kind of seeing it unfold already just a little bit. Here's the first problem. Your Des Moines got way too aggressive into B with absolutely nobody covering him, and he paid the price for that. You've got a group that's going C-cap, you've got a smaller group that's going A-cap, and an AC split on this map, it's okay. It's okay as long as the side that wins the flank pushes back into the middle. If they sit there on the flank and just celebrate, then you have some problems. Hey, Scheist! Scheist with the cookies! Yeah, you can lull pen cruisers. You can pen their bows. I don't remember. I could look it up real quick. Caliber, the exact caliber. I want to say it's like 430 or something like that. .431. So 431 millimeter. And the formula is 14.3 to overpen, so 300, 431 millimeter divided by 14.3 is 30 millimeters. So you will overmatch 30 millimeters of armor. You didn't know what that Montana was doing. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wiki. Talking about the enemy Montana. And getting back on the subject, yes. So if you have a bow on Des Moines, bow on any cruiser really, you have the ability to completely penetrate their bow. And in the case of ships like the Hindenburg, you'll go right into their citadel, and you can get citadel pens on that, and I believe you can do it on the Des Moines as well. Minotaur you'll probably overpen it, even though it's got such a giant citadel anyway. Moskva is Moskva. So yeah, the Republic, very powerful guns, very high shell velocity, insane reload. Look at the speed at which those guns come back. Ooh, 35k. That's awesome. Now you can see the enemy group is balled up at C cap. This is what typically happens on this map, is the southern group goes for A, the northern group goes for C. So you're in a position where you're going to have to win that flank and win it fast. Now I would shoot up a little bit more, because normally, well, he's not really reacting, but normally they start turning north. Look at that. Nice citadel. Now you got a shot of the Neptune you could take right now, very easily. And to be honest, I would probably be shooting that Neptune. Your destroyers asked for the help. You've got the ability to help. So do it. I don't like this decision though. You're going now broadside to Des Moines and République. And your guns have been silent for a long time. You're spotted this whole time. Nope, not anymore. Minotaur gets blown up. Now I'm guessing you're gonna flip your guns to the left. If that's the case, you should have been looking left a long time ago. If you were looking left at the start of your turn and planning ahead of that, your rear turret would already be facing left, which means that you would have a shot on the Montana right now, if you were looking to take a shot like that. You might be able to arc over. Oh, look at you using your map trick, you fancy person. Mash the M key, you can see over islands and stuff. One overpen. And that salvo did not need to happen. You straightened out for way too long there. So you won the cap, but you didn't win the flank. And that's a problem, because that means that the... Ooh, all skill, no luck. That the ships to the north of you are going to be on your flank the entire time now. That's a problem. I would be communicating with your Des Moines guy and say, hey, can you radar? There's the destroyer. Once again, I would be shooting the destroyer in this situation, or the Minotaur. Yeah, Shice, go right ahead. I know there's a few people that just play this and listen while they play the game. And I'm kind of jealous that they get to play, to be quite honest. Oh, but... Now you got 4 people targeting you, and you're going straight. Yeah, that was definitely going to happen. The torpedoes are going to force you to go straight now, though. as the Minotaur pew-pews you to death. You're overturning. Forward, forward. No, you're not overturning. There you go. Double, look at that, 32. What's up, Blika? Oh wait. No, this isn't Blika. This is a Dolphin. I recognize that too. God, I'm trying to remember. You had the was that your game on Xbox? Shit, I'm trying to remember. And yes, I'm pretty good at flying jets in video games, as you know. Bismarck coming around and is going to get you a really bad pasting here. My email is lordzathna@gmail.com. Now, yeah, most of the enemy team does not have a good shot on you. Yeah, that's right. It was Little Fan. Okay. And I remember there was a 16 there, and you had the Florida, whatever, Miami Dolphins logo, if I recall correctly. Good to see you, man. You gotta, you know, I forgot to tell Lazy this, but if you guys are on Discord or whatever, send me a PM or something with your Discord contact info. That way we can stay in touch and all that. Nice. So Geary needs to die. He's so close. Nice. And there you go. So in this situation here, you kind of, I mean, you made yourself the center by charging in like that. Your Des Moines was trying to help. Your Montana was a little too far behind. The destroyers were stuck running from C-Cap. Look at this Iowa doing Iowa things. Excuse me. You took an awful lot of broadside hits that you didn't need to take, though. And why? Because you basically straight-lined from here to B-Cap. I know you were thinking, I gotta get B-Cap, I gotta stop the point bleed, blah blah blah, but you did it in a very reckless manner, in a sense, because by charging straight in there and showing your broadside, you took probably 40,000 damage that you really didn't need to take. You can still go B, but zigzag, wiggle waggle your way in, so that you're not showing a constant broadside to players. That would definitely help. Those of you guys in Twitch, what do you think? What else could or should our guy here, Mr. Not Here 01, have done? Biggest issue is placement, positioning. Absolutely, I agree. Saru, are you basically thinking the same thing I was saying about the way that he jumped into B-Cap, or do you think that he should have done something differently? Personally, I would have rather seen him kind of duck south of this island here, so that he could keep the northern group away from shooting him and focus on the southern group, or duck north and go after the Montana and stuff like that and force him to engage. But you were taking too many shots from too many different angles. Battleship definitely needs to protect the cruiser. The cruiser needs to be in the back, and yes, your Des Moines was in the front way too much. Prophisticus, yes, the armor scheming of the République is incredibly important. So, well, Dolphin, I'm PMing you my Discord info. I think that's how you can find me on Discord. I don't know. Yeah, the Iowa A is definitely taking a laid-back approach to the battle, and that's the reason why you guys are ultimately going to lose. So, in a situation like this, yeah, you look at it, you're like, oh, look at these idiots. But more importantly, you gotta be thinking about what you did wrong, what you could do differently. And I'm gonna slow the game down for a second, because we need to talk about the mini-map. You need to use these islands as cover. Even battleships don't need to fight out in the open unless they absolutely have to. So, when you got through ACAP here and you decided to go south like this, like I said, if you would have gone north, like to here, this is a really beautiful spot because the entire enemy team was on this side and south. And if you're right here, the only people that could have engaged you were the Montana and the République, and I think there was a cruiser Des Moines up there at the north. That's it, those three ships. So you can be dealing with those three. What you ended up dealing with was Montana, who kept hitting you, République, who kept hitting you, and I think one or two ships in the south were torping you and stuff like that too. So you kind of just said, hey, here I am, free damage, beat up on me. And I think that's ultimately what brought about your downfall. So, yeah, and that's a good example or a good suggestion there, Mr. Saru, of saying, hey, you know, you don't have to charge in with your cruiser. Get the battleships out there, have them do stuff. I'm almost wondering if this Yugumo decided to just say, screw this, and went back to port. Or he just tabbed out. I think he just tabbed out. What's your question, Mr. Ice Dragon? Should you have been following the end? So, I'm going to slow down again to just diagram on the map. You're in a situation, the majority of the push was on the other side. So you've got two options once you've capped A. Option one is to go reinforce your team and ignore the guys up to the north. Option two is to get you guys up to the north. And a big part of that is, what are the other ships doing? If they're charging headlong, like the Iowa I think kind of was, then maybe support them and kill this flank and win it. Then deal with B. If you decide to go back and help, you saw what happened with their team. They won the flank, and then they went B cap. You guys won the flank, and then you tried to go B cap, but you really didn't win the flank. You know what I mean? The destroyers that came out of here were torping into them, but the problem is that as they were coming out, these guys went straight into B cap instead of chasing. They ended up in a better position. One way to think about it is they got into B before you guys and your force could get into B, but all the while you're being shot at from the north group. Yeah, sure. Little fan, you could just send me an email at lordzathna@gmail.com. I'd love to meet up with you guys again. So you guys kind of kited them to death. Could have kited them to death. Yes, absolutely. So does that help, Ice Drag? Does that make sense? You know, if you charge up to here, again, you have to kill these guys as soon as possible because these guys at CCAP are coming in, right? So this is a must-win, a must-kill. The other option, as they run, is to go back south and reinforce your team. Notice how I said south, not into B cap, because in B cap you're going to be shot at by these guys, and then of course from the guys at C. And absolutely, you have to put it on yourself to win games. A lot of people go, oh, it's the weekends, bad players, lol, 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 lol. But, you know, to be honest, yeah, there's bad players. There's bad players on both sides. A lot of people don't like that XVM mod or whatever that you could use to see your stats. I used to hate it because it promoted, you know, a lot of negativity and stuff. But, oh, look, your Yukumo's back. He probably crashed. But, the thing that it's taught me is just how many players there are playing this game that are 40 percenters, some even 30 percenters. And what I've seen from over a year of running the mod is that there's a pretty even distribution of those players. In other words, you get them 2, and the enemy gets them 2. So divisioning up reduces the chances of getting them, obviously, because you're in with 2 people that you can control, which is nice. But the point I'm trying to make, and I think that's being made on here by Mr. Saru, is it all comes down to you and your div mates controlling the battle. The better you guys get at doing that, the higher your win rate is going to be. Had you been running some battle flags instead of only economic flags, maybe you would have lived longer. Maybe you would have seen a difference in how things worked out. You never know. But that's why I don't like to run only economic flags. Typically, I'll run some battle ones too, just to ensure that I have better performing games. I don't know that you would want to blame yourself necessarily for every loss. You know, there are situations where you do the best you can. Look at your damage, man. You did 166,000 damage. You got 1 kill. I mean, you contributed to the battle. I would say your Des Moines divmate probably didn't carry as much because he was way too far in front, so that's on him. And your Montana was a little bit too cautious, whereas you were too aggressive. So, and also, you know, one thing to think about too with a 2 battleship situation like that, if you're going to go into B captain, send your Montana either south or north, so that they're covering your flank. Yeah, like I said, don't beat yourself up over every single loss, because to be quite honest, you know, losses do happen. They're part of the game. Even me, you know, I play a ton. I play with good players. We communicate in voice chat. We still make mistakes just like you, just like everybody else. And there are plenty of games where, you know, you do 200,000 damage, you're on the top of the scoreboard, and all you can do is sit back and say, well, I tried. A little left. And see what you can do. Also, you know, you mentioned how you've got private stats. That's fine. You know, don't. I would say don't don't ever let yourself feel like stats are going to impact how you are, who you play, or who you are and how you play. I think it's very important that you use stats as an opportunity to learn, kind of see where things are going as you grow. And I mean, for some of the AVS guys that are watching this, like Little Fan would probably agree. You know, stats ultimately they're fun to look at and stuff, but you know, it doesn't matter in the long run. It's all about enjoying the game. It's all about learning the game, learning the match, and that sort of thing. Yeah, talk to you soon, Little Fan. Thanks for jumping in. Hey, Ducky. Yeah, well, I'm glad the feedback is helpful. So I'm gonna put the France into the done pile, and tell me what you guys want to see. I'm gonna copy paste the list of ship availability here, and there you go. So go ahead and tell me which of those you would like to see, and we'll load it up. If somebody is here that has sent a replay in and would like me to look at that replay,